Sleep is an interesting thing. It's a vital biological necessity of our daily life. Every single living creature on our planet sleeps, because if they don't, they die. For many creatures, including us humans, an interesting behavior is exhibited. This behavior is called dreaming. Although we know it occurs, the reasoning behind it is still widely unexplained and up for interpretation. The thing is, the way we dream is largely uncontrollable and sometimes even very weird. We do not know where our dreams will take us to at night, and often, we do not even remember what occurs in them. In this mini-documentary, I will be covering some odd, strange, and surreal ways that we dream. So sit back, grab a drink, and enjoy this video. Nightmares are a fairly strange thing that occurs when we dream. In case you somehow aren't already aware, nightmares are a kind of dream that often incites feelings of fear or worry. When you have an unpleasant and scary dream that evokes fear, it is called a nightmare. It's normal to have these every once in a while, but for some people, these occur frequently. Nightmares are often a kind of vivid dream that involves disturbing dream content. Nightmares are often disturbing, upsetting, and bizarre. Nightmares occur more frequently in the second half of the night, when more time is spent in the rapid eye movement, or REM, phase of sleep. When waking up from a nightmare, it is common to remember what occurred during it, as it causes feelings of anxiety and is often very distressing. Nightmares differ from bad dreams, as nightmares often cause people to suddenly wake up. When you experience a nightmare, it is common to have an increased heart rate, as well as heavy sweating. Nightmares are a fairly common occurrence. Roughly 2 to 8% of adults have problems with nightmares. Interestingly, nightmares are more common in adolescents than adults. Apparently, nightmares are said to affect women more frequently than men. There is no consensus explanation for why nightmares occur. However, it is known that these dreams occur more often in people who are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. Often, for people with PTSD, they are forced to re-experience traumatic events in their lives, and this commonly contributes to sleep insomnia. Nightmares are also often linked to the use of illicit substances such as weed and cocaine, which can increase the likelihood of these dreams. The repetition of these dreams is actually classified as nightmare disorder, a type of parasomnia, which is another word for a disruptive sleep disorder. Following a consistent sleep schedule, avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed, and reducing screen time can all help reduce the chance of having these dreams. Infrequent nightmares do not normally require treatment, but both psychotherapy and medications are known to treat and mitigate these sleep disruptions also. Identifying and addressing an underlying cause can help make nightmares less frequent and less bothersome. Lucid dreams are when you know you are dreaming while you're still asleep. Studies suggest that only 50% of all people have had at least one lucid dream in their lifetime. Of these individuals who have experienced a lucid dream, 20% of these lucid dreamers experience them monthly. A very small group of people experience these dreams weekly, sometimes even daily. Lucid dreaming only started to be studied by scientists in the past century. The phrase was coined in 1913 by Dutch psychiatrist Frederik van Eden after documenting his own experience with these dreams. By the late 1970s and 80s, researchers confirmed lucid dreaming was a real phenomenon. They were able to confirm this by devising a test to determine if sleep study participants were experiencing these dreams. Before they fell asleep, participants were asked to move their eyes in a certain pattern once they began having lucid dreams. When the participants exhibited these specific eye movements, researchers had proof that these dreams were real. For reasons that experts still don't understand, we usually aren't aware we are dreaming during the dream. Lucid dreaming is characterized by being aware of the fact that the events flashing through your brain aren't really happening. These dreams usually feel vivid and real, and sometimes you are able to control what happens in the dream, similarly to directing a movie in your sleep. Most people report doing something active in these dreams, such as running or flying. These kinds of dreams are most common during REM sleep, and they usually last around 10 minutes. Studies have found differences in the prefrontal cortex for people who have these dreams, the part of the brain that is responsible for complex decision-making and recalling memories. One small study found that people with narcolepsy, a type of chronic sleep disorder, were more likely than other participants to have lucid dreams. Several studies have shown that lucid dreaming can help with nightmares. You can learn to confront scary things in your dreams and control what happens next. Some people taking part in lucid dream studies were able to come up with new ideas or insights. After a lucid dreaming workshop, one study found that people with PTSD improved both their symptoms and their personal well-being. One easy way to lucid dream more is to get plenty of rest. Ideally, you'll sleep for 8 or more hours a night. It's important to do this because you cycle through REM sleep every 90 minutes, and more REM sleep can mean more dreaming in general. One way to tell if your dream is lucid is to prime your mind to notice strange details in your dream so you can alert yourself that it's not real. You can also try to do something impossible in your dream, such as push your finger through your palm. If you get used to testing your reality while you're awake, you may even remember to do it while you're dreaming. Entering a lucid dreaming state directly after falling asleep is called wake-initiated lucid dreaming, or wild. It taps into something called hypnagogia, a very early stage of sleep that is often linked to creativity. Studies have also focused on the effects of several supplements and medicinal plants on sleep and dreams. You can awaken yourself from these dreams by trying to close your eyes in the dream. Additionally, you can also try clenching your fists in the dream. So far, lucid dreams appear to have some benefits, such as helping you deal with nightmares, reducing anxiety, and boosting creativity in your waking life. Waking loops, or false awakenings, are an occurrence where the dreamer believes they are awake while still being asleep. False awakenings usually occur during REM sleep, which is the sleep stage most closely tied to dreaming. There is relatively little research on false awakenings, although many people can relate to the experience. During these false awakenings, people commonly report getting ready for the day, exploring the environment of the dream, or remembering the dream prior to the false awakening. In contrast to normal dreams, which are often fantastical, false awakenings are typically very realistic. You may believe you have woken up in your own bedroom, or that you were in another familiar place such as your school or workplace. The setting may be identical to real life, or there may be small details that are different, such as odd shadows, lights that do not turn on, or doors that do not lead to where they are supposed to lead. You may also have a nagging feeling that something is out of place, without being fully aware that you are dreaming. Although false awakenings have been described as vivid and uncanny, experts do not believe that they are harmful. But like other events that happen on the threshold between wake and sleep, false awakenings may sometimes provoke fear, unease, or anxiety. During a false awakening, you may have an out-of-body experience or sense a presence in the room, which may be accompanied by an overwhelming feeling of dread. Earlier sleep researchers classified these ominous experiences as Type 2 false awakenings, as opposed to the more neutral Type 1 false awakenings. False awakenings can also happen multiple times in a row, which may be distressing if the sleeper feels like they are unable to wake up. Similarly, false awakenings may lead to false memories, in which the person recalls having done something, but then later finds evidence that it occurred in a dream. Sleepwalking is a condition where people get up and walk around while still asleep. It's more common in children than adults, and is usually outgrown after a couple of years. Sleepwalking usually occurs early in the night, often 1 to 2 hours after falling asleep. It isn't likely to happen during naps, but it is possible. It generally only lasts several minutes, but it can sometimes last even longer. People who sleepwalk often do not respond to others during it, and usually do not remember it after they wake up. This will generally cause confusion if they wake up during it, and causes problems during the day due to sleep disturbances. Sometimes, people experiencing this odd sleep event will do routine activities such as getting dressed, eating, and sometimes even driving a car. This obviously poses dangers, as it is very easy for these individuals to get injured, such as by falling down stairs or out of windows. Strangely, they also may become violent while briefly confused after waking up or during the sleepwalking. Occasional bouts of sleepwalking aren't a cause for concern, as they usually go away on their own. Sleepwalking is classified as a parasomnia, and it occurs during N3 sleep, the deepest stage of non-rapid eye movement sleep. Many factors can lead to sleepwalking, including fever, stress, and sleep schedule disruptions. Certain medications and substance use can also contribute to this condition. Sleepwalking also appears to run in families' genetics. It's more common if one parent has a history of sleepwalking, and much more common if both parents have a history of the sleep disorder. It is recommended for people to mention this occurrence to their doctor if they experience it frequently, as it can cause injury to themselves and others. Many odd things can happen during sleep due to how complex the mind is. A lot of these things are not fully understood either. If you take anything away from this video, it should be that sleep is crucial for us, and it is important to do our best to make sure we have a good night's rest.